Okay, let's talk about speed, or how fast should you be in order to be okay in sword fighting. So this is a topic which is a really fun topic to discuss, because I have seen like so many people say that speed is not important and you don't have to be fast. But I don't know how many have actually then really tried to fight slowly against a faster opponent. I mean that once you do that, you will quickly realize that it's not gonna be easy fight slowly. And then some people say that, yeah, well, you can use timing and tactics and whatever to beat the speed. Well, this is true in a sense that it helps, because with tactics and those applications you can sort of create time, so you can be slower and still be able to do the thing. But you still have to be fast enough, because if you are just too slow, you can't really achieve anything. So if the other guy can hit you faster, what you can parry or block, he's gonna hit you, right? And there is this old saying, I think it might be Chinese or something, that there is no defense against speed. And this is true. So if somebody shoots a bullet at you, it will be quite difficult to try to block that with a sword, because it's so fast. Same thing with sword cuts. So, and this is just not my personal ramble here, because what you can do also yourself is what I did. So I went and looked at sword fighting videos. So you can then count the frames, how much time it takes from the initiation of the shot or strike to the impact, meaning that when it's hitting the target. And then you can compare different fighters, how fast they are. So it comes down to this, that usually if there is a beginner, maybe have been practicing a few months, still learning the basics of how to use the sword, the time from the first movement of the sword can be 0.5 seconds to target, 0.5, so half a second. And then when you have a intermediate sword fighter, they can do that like in 0.4 second or slightly less, and it's only 0.1 second difference, but that's a lot. So it's something like 20% faster, and that's why the intermediate fighters can win the beginners just by straight hits, because the reaction time and response time, meaning that the time from seeing that now something is coming into the actual response, which might be a block with the sword, takes so much time that the beginner cannot block or parry the incoming strike. And then when you move into seasoned or more advanced fighters, the time from the initiation of the strike to target is something like 0.3 seconds, or sometimes 0.25 seconds. And now here I'm talking about swords which are something like 1 kilogram, because it's shorter and lighter. Swords or knives this time will be even smaller, but something like 0.3. So that's what I call like fighting speed. So it takes 0.3 seconds to strike and about 0.3 seconds to get the sword back here. So the opponent will have to be able to parry or evade the incoming strike in something like 0.3 seconds. Preferably a little bit faster, because otherwise it's already there. So it's quite easy now to understand that if somebody can hit you in 0.3 seconds, it takes 0.5 seconds for you to block it, you will be hit. So I really don't understand this way of thinking that speed is not important, because it surely is. You can't be too slow. So when somebody appears to be slower, it usually means that they are, maybe the other guy is 0.3 second fighter and the other guy is 0.4 second fighter. So the 0.4 second fighter appears to be slow, but actually they are already quite fast. So what I would say here is, additionally, is that you need to have a speed reserve, so that you, if the need is there, you can strike really fast, this 0.3 second strike. But if you don't have to, you can also go slower, because with timing, which we will discuss later, is that if you are too fast, it's not good either. So you have to be using the correct speed there. So going as fast as possible is not going to be the best tactic every time. Sometimes yes, if you do a direct hit, yes, sure. But sometimes you don't have to do it like that. So now, I understand that maximum speed is necessary to get the speed reserve, but it's not always used. And if you think about the sword movements, because they can be moving around, it's sometimes difficult to understand where the strike actually starts and where it finishes. But yeah, so we do need some speed, definitely.